As the story of the mighty Thor from Earth 616 keeps going on strong, Old Man Thor's story gives the reader a fresh way to find out how the life of the God of Thunder might turn out in the future, with facing many old foes like Gorr and Loki, while taking on new roles in the universe like that of a god cop, and even going against villains alongside his past versions. Old Man Thor's story explores how a possible future for the mighty God of Thunder can turn out, and today we explore those stories in detail. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Backstory of Old Thor. Old Man Thor from Earth 14412 had a life quite similar to that of Thor from Earth 616, to the point that the latter's death could have led to Old Thor ceasing to exist, making him a version of Thor's future. But due to an entity's meddling with time, Old Thor's universe became a parallel one. During the events of War of the Realms, caused by the dark elf Malekith, Thor had to sacrifice his left eye to gain knowledge required to defeat Malekith, and in turn became the All-Father of Asgard. Old Thor, though, would end up leaving Asgard and join the Ministry of Interdeity Justice at Omnipotent City, where he became a law enforcement officer assigned to the Sun Precinct Prime. Old Thor was responsible for preventing wars amongst wild pantheons and would arrest gods who would violate interpantheon laws. From Divine Cop to Celestial Guardian. Finishing his time as a Divine Cop, Thor proceeded to change his form from a humanoid one to a planet that was orbited by the moons of Uru. During the 1,000 Nights of Ragnarok, he went on to assist the Sorcerer Supreme Daemon Hellstrom. Though Old Thor returned to his humanoid body, he suffered a loss of memory after the Frost Giant assassins physically attacked him. As a result, he was hunted by Loki's army while wandering the frozen jungles of Jotunheim. During this time, Thor ended up falling in love with the general of the Frost Giant army. Following this, they had a half-giant son named after Thor's Anglo-Saxon name, Woden. Woden went on to have 3 daughters named Frigg, Elisiv, and Atli. Soon thereafter, Thor made his return to Asgard and inherited the power of the All-Father from his father Odin, and renamed the power to be called Thor Force. Thor had to take out Odin from the suffering he was going through due to the burden of old age, and used the world of Jotunheim as a funeral pyre for Odin. Thor's brother Loki, who became evil again, instigated to end all life on Earth out of anger. Old Thor ended up becoming a strict and cynical ruler after the loss of his friends and comrades, just like his father Odin. The God Butcher's Wrath. Old Thor's struggle against Gorr. Old Thor soon had to fight the alien serial killer known as Gorr, who arrived by the use of the Pool of Forevers, traveling through time. Bonding with the all-black symbiote Necrosword, Gorr created ruthless monsters known as the Black Berserkers, who helped him enslave every god he came across. During Gorr's attack on Asgard, he not only captured or killed its inhabitants, but ended up enslaving Woden along with all 3 of his daughters. The Black Berserkers ended up trapping Thor in an unending cycle of being brutally defeated but not killed, which was a way of Gorr mocking him. During this time, Thor became hopeless and wished to be dead. But Old Thor finally found some hope 900 years later, with the arrival of Thor from Earth 616, who followed Gorr to this future using the Pool of Forevers. The 2 Thors were soon joined by a younger Thor from the 6th century time period of Earth 616, who was taken out of the past by Gorr. The 3 Thors came together to attack Gorr's Black World, and to also stop him from using the God Bomb, which would kill all the gods that ever existed or will come to exist. But ultimately they got defeated, with Old Thor being crucified to a comet and sent to far away in space. Old Thor eventually managed to return to the Black World, but failed to stop Gorr from activating the God Bomb. Thor, the Avenger from Earth 616, managed to ruin Gorr's plans by bonding with the all-black symbiote Necrosword, while the young 6th century Thor killed Gorr, the God Butcher. Using the power of Thor Force, Old Thor resurrected 616's Thor, who had died due to his severe wounds, and also moved Gorr's Black World into a black hole to stop the 6th century Thor from bonding with the Necrosword. Being reunited with his remaining family members at last, Old Thor sent his other past selves to their proper place in time, and also allowed the gods who had lost their homes to settle down at Asgard. A tale of love, creativity, and the birth of earthly hybrids. Old Thor mourned the end of Earth as it became lifeless and barren, and visited the planet quite often. When Galactus arrived to devour the planet, Old Thor tried his best to stop it, but he got thrown away in deep space. Realizing that he is no match for Galactus' strength, Thor recovered the all-black symbiote Necrosword and bonded with it in an attempt to defeat Galactus, but Thor fainted due to being severely wounded. As he bled on the ruins of Earth, Thor's blood ended up giving new life to the planet. Thor and his granddaughters then did their best to cultivate Earth in a manner for the flowers and trees to thrive on the planet. Elisiv, fearing that his grandfather Thor's death was close, gave him a special birthday present to uplift his spirit. The three goddesses of Thor created a special spell of life using whatever bones they could find: a comet's stardust, Yggdrasil's sap, the well of Urd's mud, and 3 strands of Old Thor's hair. This spell helped create new animal life on Earth, but instead of the original ones, these created hybrids, such as zebraflies, sharkbirds, and elephants with multiple tusks. Happy and overwhelmed with his granddaughter's gift, Old Thor used the cauldron's remaining material to create 2 new human lives on Earth, which he named Steve and Jane. End of the multiverse. Old Thor joins the Thor Corps in the battle world. During the events of Secret Wars, when the multiverse ended up being destroyed due to incursions, the battle world was created with the remains of the realities that were destroyed. Old Thor was one of those who got recreated during this time and joined the Thor Corps, a group composed of people residing at the battlefield and the enforcers of justice created by God Emperor Doom. Old Thor took the position of law speaker in the team and was present during the arrest of America Chavez from Arcadia, who committed the crime of throwing a megalodon over the shield. Old Thor was also present during the arrest of Tony Stark and Arno Stark at Technopolis. Reunion with Logan and saving Earth from doom. Following the multiverse being restored, Old Thor traveled to the edge of the cosmos only to find a way to prevent the end of the universe. There, Thor came to find his old friend Logan, who had recently resurrected after becoming the new host for the Phoenix Force. However, this happiness didn't last very long for Thor when Logan all of a sudden attacked him for bringing back life on Earth. Logan then revealed that Doom will return to Earth to conquer the planet. Old Thor started fighting Logan but couldn't defeat him, whereas Logan, who was victorious, couldn't kill Thor because of the Phoenix Force's past love for Thor. Logan ended up deciding to help Thor save Earth, arriving to save Thor's granddaughters just in time from Doom. Doom paralyzed Thor using his penance stare when Logan decided to sacrifice himself to allow the Phoenix Force to be transformed into Mjolnir. Using Mjolnir, Thor smashed Doom into the Earth's mantle, while this battle that lasted 99 years led to multiple earthquakes and volcanic eruptions on Earth. Following this, Thor fell into forever sleep to make his recovery, while the Phoenix Force went on to look for a new host while warning the Earth's humans about a true darkness who will arrive to end them all. The Thors reunite to defeat Malekith. Reed Richards and Ben Grimm arrived from the past to recruit Old Thor to stop Malekith. Thor prevented his granddaughters from attacking the 2 Fantastic Four members and soon traveled to the past with them. Old Thor was pleased to reunite with his Earth 616 younger self, who at that point had lost an arm to Malekith and an eye to Yggdrasil, to gain the knowledge to defeat Malekith, just like his older counterpart. Old Thor also reunited with the young 6th century Thor and Jane Foster, who became Thor using Earth 1610's Mjolnir. All the 4 Thors together engaged in a battle with Malekith, who had bonded with the Venom symbiote by that point. Old Thor also was surprised to see young Thor being able to wield Mjolnir to save their mother. Old Thor's final battle, the return of Gorr. Loki makes his return to once again try to kill Old Thor, but this time he has a new trick up his sleeve. He has bonded with the all-black symbiote Necrosword. The battle between the brothers has left Asgard in ruins. Thor's 3 granddaughters, Frigg, Elisiv, and Otley, meanwhile went to check the halls of All-Knowing in the ruins of Omnipotence City to find a way to help their grandfather defeat Loki. They found Shadrach there, who doesn't remember what he was a god of himself, but used to be a helper for the Lord High Librarian. Before Shadrach could manage to help the sisters with his knowledge, he got attacked by Loki's necro-ravens that he had dispatched to kill the sisters. Atli and Frigg start fighting the necro-ravens, while Elisif tells Shadrach that she has no clue how to help her grandfather, even though she has researched the complete history of the Necrosword and even fought Gorr the God Butcher herself ages ago. Shadrach points to the book titled Saga of the God Butcher and tells Elisif that she doesn't have the complete history because the book has not yet finished writing itself. The goddesses make their escape with the book, while Shadrach refuses to leave behind his book and, remembering that he is the god of bombs, decides to detonate a bomb to end the necro-ravens, leaving Omnipotent City completely destroyed. Loki and Thor continue to engage in the fight as Loki mocks his brother for thinking that the Muspelheim vipers could contain him, but rather he ate them and got away. Loki then mentions how he got ownership of the Necrosword by whispering words of madness to Ego, the previous owner of All Black for nearly a century, and destroyed him as a way of testing his new powers after he bonded with the Necrosword. Thor tried his best to weaken Loki, using the fullest extent of Thor Force and even using a stellar plasma-covered Mjolnir, but none of them seemed to have any effect on him. During this time, both Loki and Thor feel the end of Omnipotent City light years away. Loki fighting Thor with All Black points out how he is the bringer of the truth that nothing can last forever, and how he is bringing the end of gods. Both Thor and Loki at this point start throwing lies to hurt each other, with Loki saying how he had killed their father, Odin, by telling him about every single sin he has committed, while Thor tells him how their mother, Freya, died of the regret of ever believing that Loki could be good, and regretted expecting the same himself. Thor, in another effort, throws Loki into the nearby sun, but Loki ends up consuming it completely. Loki stabs Thor with a dozen blades, throwing him on the newly renewed Earth, while Thor tries to call Mjolnir, who is stuck in the abyss of the dead sun. Thor prays for any god who might be hearing his call to arrive and help him, while Loki boasts about his win, only to be impaled from the back by Gorr the God Butcher. Thor is shocked seeing Gorr alive, and mentions that he should be dead, but Gorr reveals that he has been trapped inside All Black, enjoying watching gods and themselves. He goes on to reveal that Loki has resurrected, believing that Loki, even though a God Butcher, may not have the heart to end Thor as he boasted. Loki offers Gorr to bond with All Black to finish the job of ending all gods, as Gorr uses his powers to put Loki in a crucifix, similar to how Loki had put Thor in one. Thor uses the I-beam of Thor Force to blast Gorr into orbit while getting out of the crucifix. He asks Loki to help him, but when Loki gives no reply, he promises that he will return after destroying Gorr to finish the job that Loki couldn't, to kill his brother. Thor and Gorr battle in space, with Gorr trapping Thor in a dark substance made of the living abyss and disintegrated bones of inhabitants of the destroyed worlds. But before Gorr is able to finish him off, he gets stopped by a golden lasso on his neck, thrown by none other than Thor's wicked brother, Loki. Loki quips that he never resurrected Gorr to kill Thor because that's what he had dreamt about since childhood, while Gorr retaliates by severing Loki's arm and blinding him using the All Black, realizing that Loki actually resurrected Gorr to kill himself. Gorr soon traps both the brothers in the dark matter of All Black, where Thor tries to reignite Loki's fighting spirit, but soon it seems that they are both lost to darkness. Thor tries his best to make it out of All Black and calls out for Loki. Gorr tells Thor to not try to fight anymore when he notices thunder roaring at a distance. Thor reveals that it is not thunder, and his granddaughters arrive to tell Gorr that it is theirs. They quickly oppose Gorr, revealing they have arrived with some extra help, the Sky Lords of Indegard. It is soon found that the beginning of the story in the book of Saga of the God Butcher took the three goddesses to Indegard. As they prayed there for a way to help their grandfather, the Sky Lords revealed themselves and revealed how they were brought to Indegard by Thor to help the people there, and they have been sleeping for a long time. The Sky Lords of Indegard reveal themselves to Gorr and start fighting him, weakening him severely. The fight ends with Frigg and Elisif holding Thor using thunder, and Atli severing his head from his body. But Gorr's severed head reveals the ultimate shocker by saying that his new body actually had been formed using All Black itself enough, and it had no need for any more, for it had been growing bigger feeding on the stars around them. Thor manages to make it out of All Black riding Atli's pet star shark, Deathmouth, while Loki is also fished out by the three goddesses at their grandfather's request. But the ultimate challenge now comes in front of the remaining gods as All Black takes the form of a dark planet with Gorr's face on it, calling it the Necroverse. Thor journeyed inside the Necroverse, but ended up being sucked inside massive black holes. But his brother Loki came to his rescue by distracting Gorr, telling him stories of every heroic deed that Thor has ever committed. This ended up giving Thor enough time to call upon the full power of the god Tempest from Mjolnir and destroy the Necroverse. Gorr, being restored to his mortal state, had lost all his memories and became insane. The Skylords of Indigar take Gorr in to allow him to live the rest of his days in peace. When the sun didn't make it out of darkness, Loki journeyed inside and sacrificed himself to rekindle it. While Thor went into the sleep of sleep to recover himself, upon awakening, he gave his granddaughters the responsibility of Earth and also his beloved Mjolnir as their birthright. Old Thor then sailed Shidblanir inside the void to prevent the entropy from ending the universe. Marvel's verdict. Thor from the main universe of Earth 616 may not have lived out a full life, still going on multiple adventures alongside the mighty Avengers and other superheroes. But Old Thor's story gives the readers a happy conclusion to the way the story of the God of Thunder can end. Though Old Thor's life may not be filled with just happiness, it showed how to remain calm and fulfilled in the face of never-ending adversaries in your life. Old Thor may have lived a long life filled with the loss of loved ones, friends, and companions, but he managed to prove that gods truly care for all life. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.